Hi guys, how you all doing? I'm in Majorca on a special Volkswagen Golf range event, so I'm going to be trying a couple of new Golfs over the next few days. Now today I'm going to be driving this. It's the GTE, so it's the plug-in hybrid. I'm also going to be driving the Golf E, the full-on electric version, a little bit later on. This one's been updated. It's got some new bumper designs there at the front, and at the back you get sweeping indicators now. Amazing, isn't it? It's like an Audi. Okay, so I've got about a 100-kilometre drive to the hotel. And I haven't driven this car before. I think I've got it started, but that's the thing with these plug-in hybrids. You're never sure whether it's running or not. So let's just put it into drive and see if it actually drives. It's not driving. Okay. Are you on now? Maybe that bong signifies that I am now engaged to go. Yes, we are. Good. There. Right. Now, before I go on to explain some of the other new things on this GTE, I should point out what's not new. So the engine, electric motor, gearbox combination is unchanged. So you've got a 1.4 litre turbo petrol engine, you've got it mated to an electric motor. They can work together to provide a combined 204 horsepower, or the electric motor can just work on its own and then drive the car for up to 50 kilometres apparently on electric power alone. And yeah, I'm just driving around in GTE mode, which is hybrid mode. So uses electricity sometimes, but mainly it's running on the engine and gives me an extra boost from that electric motor when I put my foot down like this. Yeah, hybrid power. It does feel a lot faster than something like a Prius, let me tell you that. Or I can press this button, go into E mode, shuts off the engine, and then I can drive along. So I'm doing 70 kilometres. This is a 90-kilometre road. So I'm going to do that in electric power alone. Look at this. If I put my foot down, if I really nail the throttle, it brings the engine in, because the car thinks, oh my God, this guy wants to overtake, he needs maximum power. So it will always give it you if you need it. But when I back off, once again, I'm in electric only mode. And it feels quite quick actually, you know, you can drive along. I know how fast I can go actually in electric only mode. Oh no, I'm going to start breaking the law. Speaking of breaking the law, we were told a really interesting story just in the presentation for this car. So last time Volkswagen had an event here in Majorca, apparently some Swedish journalist drove one of their cars at 2 times the speed limit. He was in a 90-kilometre zone and he went and did 180 kilometres. Caught by the police. They actually impounded the car, and after 3 or so months, Volkswagen still hasn't got it back from the police. And that Swedish journalist apparently isn't allowed back in Spain at all. So I'm going to try and stay to the speed limit. And I've got a little thing just warning me up there saying, look, it's 90, don't go faster than 90. So I'm not going to. I'm going to go to GTE mode because I don't want to run out of battery just yet. I've only got 35 kilometres of battery power left. The whole premise of this GT model is that it's supposed to be economical, but also sporty, hence the GT part of its name. But I'm not fully buying into that. You see, I don't find it particularly good fun to drive. Yes, it can do 0 to 60 in 7.6 seconds, but you don't really want to throw it through a twisty road because it's just a little bit heavy, because you've got obviously the battery, you've got the motor as well as the petrol engine, and it's actually about 250 kilos heavier than the equivalent Golf GTI. And then we come to the economy. So on the official test cycle, this thing should do 1.6 litres per 100 kilometres, which is about 180 miles per gallon. This one I'm doing here is getting 6.4 litres per 100 kilometres in my hands, which is not much over 40 miles per gallon. So yeah, depending on how you drive it, it's not all that economical. However, it can make sense depending on your journey. So let's say you live quite close to work, you have the option to charge your car at work. This thing can do 50 kilometres on electric power alone. You could effectively go to and from work, day in, day out, and never pay for any petrol. So you're probably wondering how much this car costs. Well, it starts from just over £30,000. And in the UK, because it's a plug-in hybrid, you can get a grant from the government for £2,500 towards it. And of course, if you click up there, go to carwow.co.uk, you can actually get some offers on this car. You can plug in the details of the exact specification that you want of the GTE, and dealers will come back with the best price they can do on it. So you can buy it at a price you're confident in. On average, people save £3,600 on a new car through carwow. Being a hybrid, this car's pretty high-tech underneath the bonnet, but it's also high-tech here in the cabin. So it's got VW's latest digital driver's display, which you've already seen as I've been kind of showing off various things like the economy on it. Now you can cycle through different menus, and it works exactly the same as the virtual cockpit in various Audis. I don't think it's quite as nice as that system though. The nav, although you can go kind of widescreen, you can't go quite so widescreen as you can in the Audi, but it is helpful having the information right there in front of you, so you don't have to look down there at the nav. Now this one's also got, if we look down here, the new infotainment system. This is the top of the range 9-inch version. It's the Discover Pro. Beautiful shiny screen, sharp graphics, good navigation system in it, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. It's also got gesture controls. Look, I'm actually changing radio stations there by waving my hand about. I'm not completely sure what gestures do what, and it makes me just want to make one gesture at it because it's a bit of a gimmick. There, said it, sorry. So I've driven the new GTE version of the Golf, and now I'm going to drive the e-Golf, so here it is. It's pretty blooming basic, actually. So, yeah. I'm being silly. There it is, the new e-Golf. So they've updated it, bit different design, bumper at the back and at the front there. But the big news is to do with the batteries. Hop in and we'll talk more about that in a moment. So with the same space, they've managed to increase the battery capacity by 50%. And as a result, the range, the claimed range on the standardised European cycle is 300 kilometres. Now, I said it in a silly, mocking voice because even VW says that in the real world you're looking at 200 kilometres. And then if you have a heavy right foot, you're looking at quite a lot less. But yeah, so its range is definitely a lot better than before, so it's more usable. To drive, it's all right, feels like a Golf, except for it's silent when you put your foot down. It's actually quite good. So 0 to 60 on this thing is not bad. It's like 9.6 seconds or something, so that's not too bad at all. You got about 100 and almost 140 horsepower, so it's pretty nippy. Round town, that instant response you get from the electric motor, there we go. You can make your camera woman feel a little bit sick. Sorry about that, Sam. So, yeah, it's really darty around town, and it's on the whole pretty nice to drive. Price? Well, yeah, £32,000. Though you do get a government grant because it's an electric vehicle of £4,500, which brings it down. Do you know what I think? Having driven the GTE and then this, I'd rather have this. I think if you're going to go electric, there's enough range in this car for you to live with it, and I actually prefer driving it. You know, you can absolutely thrash it, and you never have the thing with the GT where the engine kicks in. So it's always just electric, it's always quiet, it's got that kind of really cool spaceshipy feel that you get with an electric car, that instant thrust. It's actually as much fun as the GTE. It doesn't have GT in the name, but it is as much fun to drive, if not more so, just because of the nature of the fact it's an electric car. Yeah, you can feel the weight in the bends, but I can forgive it. It's not trying to be a GTI, is it? It's really rather good.
If you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it and subscribe to our channel. And click on the video windows to watch my in-depth review of the new Volkswagen Golf and the Golf R.